Hello and welcome to 60 Second Gamer, where today we are talking about Transformers War for Cybertron. Steady on.
When you're ready.
Joining me today, I am Simon Pryor, and joining me are, as ever, Rich Hatton.
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Are you ready? And Mr. Ant Tremaine.
Nom.
He's not ready. And
That was some conviction.
as I said in the intro sequence, we are talking about Transformers War for Cybertron, which is the latest in a long line of, previously vaguely disappointing Transformers video games. They've all basically been a bit hideous since the Transformers video game that was based on the Armada cartoon, which was released in about 2002, I believe. Since then, they've all been based on the movies, which have been awful, quite frankly. The games, that is, the films, so-so.
No, the films have followed closely.
Yeah, and this one actually takes us back to the G1 cartoon. That's Generation 1, the original 80s cartoon. Redesigns the characters a little bit, but sets all the action on Cybertron in the distant past before they first went to Earth, which I think just about covers the
Gist of the plot.
gist. Yeah.
You just blow fire out then. What would you go?
Mama. No, that's the Fast Show. If anyone is wondering what we're talking about. So yes, Transformers War for Cybertron, and this is a game that you reviewed,
Own as well.
and own. I have yet to purchase it, but I will do eventually, because I quite like the G1 stylings of it.
Upon my recommendation, it's quite good.
Yes. Please do talk to us a little bit about the story and the plot.
I think you just pretty much summed it up.
It's back in the
It's the war before they came to
really the war before
Yes.
they came to.
excuse my sore throat.
I don't know what's in Transformers canon.
Yes. Massive cough.
I'm glad you said cough.
It's based before they came to Earth and used up all the natural resources on Cybertron, and it's based on Cybertron before they came to Earth.
Basically just
That's
lots
it.
of fighting,
It's
isn't
a
it? Yeah.
prequel essentially.
Isn't from what I saw of you playing it, didn't Megatron discover an alternative energy source?
Is it Dark Energon?
Energon, yes.
Yeah.
Which you also see, they've gone this far back, you also see Starscream betray the Autobots and turn to a Decepticon.
Well, he wasn't really an Autobot in the first place. He was just a scientist
Yeah.
with no affiliation.
No, and then he went a bit cowardly. It was quite clever in the game though, because you saw his little logo
Megatron!
change to a spiky Decepticon face.
Oh, very nice.
Which was quite nice. And it's a very detailed game as well, which I quite like as well.
Well, I mean, I quite like the idea of it, because I mean, I'm quite a big Transformers fan. And I mean, I don't ever recall there being Dark Energon
No,
in any sort of iteration of any series.
Maybe he's just using it as a ruse. As a war,
maybe.
as a just cause.
Well, I mean, they could have invented it for the game. I mean, without reading into it any further, because I don't want to spoil it for myself.
It could be like red matter in Star Wars. Star Trek. Sorry.
It's the MacGuffin that propels the plot.
Yeah.
I mean, that was basically the MacGuffin in the original series. It's a fight between good and evil, and they were fighting over energy.
Maybe,
End of.
Maybe they just added that in because that energy source hasn't been, I don't know, made specific or something. I don't know. Maybe they went, oh,
They could have come up with a bit of a better name. Though.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But never mind.
Well,
hey ho.
My problem is, instead of inventing a new energy source other than Energon, they've just put Dark in front of it. And that's lazy. That is a little bit. But hey ho.
They could have used hydrogen.
Yeah.
Hydrogen's quite plentiful in space.
Indeed.
No, this is true.
But that's just me being funny.
Having one of his funny turns.
Yeah. So modes of play. Well, there's single player. There's 2 campaigns. Is that right? Autobot and Decepticon.
Yes. Of which you can start either end, but the Decepticon one.
Do you get to be evil?
Yes, you do. I went round and there was a load of Autobots chained up, and I went round and shot a lot of them. Didn't have to, but I did because I thought it'd be quite funny. Also malleted one on the head, which was quite funny.
What, Timmy Mallet style?
No, it was. You got that. You've also got online co-op, which you can play through the story with a friend if you know anyone who's playing it.
And also has a copy of the game.
Yes.
We can give it a go when I finally
Yes,
buy it. I
yeah.
will buy it on the PlayStation.
Good. And then I'll know someone else who's online.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. There's online playing as well. But
There was 600 players when we did the review,
yeah,
wasn't there?
none of them were
You
actually
couldn't
like.
matchmake.
No,
Yeah.
it was. That's why there is. In case anyone wants to dislike my videos or criticise me in any
I
form.
don't know who anyone would do that.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
As many people have done in the past.
Pretty
Then,
much everyone you've done.
Yeah, I know. Anyone I haven't mentioned online mode, or even like Bioshock, just because I didn't like it as much as the first one. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll be the infamous reviewer. I don't give a flying shit.
Good.
I know. And
Language tardy.
yeah.
Stop picking
Actually,
your
that
nose.
is an appropriate quote as well. Language tardy. Anyway, carry on.
But yeah, there was no one playing it.
So we've
Could
got
not match mode.
we've got the standard online modes, the co-op mode, which is apparently becoming more popular as time goes on,
Not that I've actually played. one,
and obviously the single player campaign. How long is the single player campaign? How is
you,
it quite
you
in
got
depth? Or
10 chapters, says 5 each.
how long per
essentially.
chapter? On
The
average?
chapters are quite long, because I mean I'm only on chapter 3 and it's taken quite a long time to get there.
Yeah.
But you
It's
do-
not black level of ridiculously long levels.
No.
'Cause I spent days completing some of them.
No, it's,
No sleep,
Oh god.
no food or drink, no toilets,
Just black.
just black. Black.
And thus the toilet was soiled.
Yeah.
the
So
toilet was soiled.
gameplay. Yeah, give us a quick run through the gameplay.
It's just your typical third-person shooter, really. You just run round.
Blasting whatever moves.
Yes, blasting. If anything gets in your way, shoot it.
From what shoot it.
Shoot it!
From what I understand, from what I saw of the gameplay, it's like a little team.
Yeah.
So you've got some
You
teammates.
always go in with 2 other, whichever side you're playing, 2 other Transformers.
Companions.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the one. Which usually are good up until there'll be like a sort of boss fight, then they sort of go and run off into the
they
corner.
turn into stormtroopers and can't shoot anything.
Yeah, they're rubbish at that point. But anything else, they're fine with.
That's on an unrelated note. In Star Wars canon, that was bad cloning. Given that the stormtroopers
Yeah.
can't, I think that is the perils of the cloning process.
Well,
They get shit aim.
Yeah,
to be perfectly honest, I'm not entirely convinced.
they're
or
the
even
clones.
sure that they are clones when it comes to episode.
And maybe they just
onwards.
realised it was too prohibitively expensive.
And
Possibly.
just
And
hire
Django
people.
is dead, and you can't really clone a clone.
Can you imagine hiring
You
like
can.
stormtroopers? You can imagine what the interviewing process would be like.
So
What is your-
can you hit a barn door from 500 yards? No, you're hired.
What is your previous experience?
What
you
with
have-
polishing helmets? You're hired.
Do you have 2 references?
I do, actually.
Why is he Alan Rickman now? Thinking about it. Does Darth Vader?
Gameplay controls.
Uh,
That's very nicely done. You
thought-
filled the glass to the brim and finished the
I'm
bottle.
a
Well done.
connoisseur of these things.
You just got lucky.
Yeah.
Gameplay controls.
Uh,
Again, is it standard third person?
X to jump, R1 or R2 to fire.
I mean, strictly speaking, if you played any of the previous Transformer games, you should be alright.
It's essentially the same, really.
Yeah. Do you have to press and hold a button to stay transformed?
No, this isn't Revenge of the Fallen.
Good.
You press one button, you transform, you press that button again, you transform back.
So it's back to like the old school
Yeah.
style of.
Well,
And they go.
Yeah, they do the
Yeah,
proper
old school
noise.
sounds.
Although I always get confused if I don't play it for a while. It's one of those games where you forget the controls quite easy if you don't play it for a bit.
Hmm.
And like,
I'm sure, it's like, as you say, X is jump. I'm almost certain square will be melee attack.
And
yeah,
possibly R1 or R2 to fire.
yeah, it's one of those. But it's the transform button I always lose.
Circle.
No, I
Or
don't think it
triangle.
was. No, I don't think it was.
L2.
I think it
It's
was
not a
one of
face button.
the sticks.
R3s.
Ah.
It was really. It was like this is a bit odd. It was like, it wasn't like this before.
But
But
they've
no,
got to
it's,
put it somewhere, I suppose. If they've got another use for one of the other buttons,
Yeah.
then that makes
it's
sense.
also quite clunky as well when you jump because you sort of jump, but
Yeah.
sometimes you'll sort of get caught and stuff quite easy,
Ah.
which is
I
a
mean-
little bit annoying. But
I mean, is there an array of weapons per character, or
No, there's
The
2
bullet.
weapons and they run out of ammo very quickly.
Right.
And then you'll pick up another gun and that'll run out of ammo very quickly. And before you know it, you're actually relying on the ammo that sometimes is unlimited, sometimes isn't when you're in vehicle mode, which is then very difficult to get around sometimes.
Yeah.
But never mind. That's my main flaw with it.
Okay. What about graphics? I mean, it looked.
It's very pretty. It's very.
It seemed a bit dark to me. I don't know if that was just me or if that was just the level that we played. Or
Some of them are quite dark levels. I mean, there are.
I mean, Cybertron is supposed to be in the middle of an energy crisis anyway, so I'd imagine that ties into it. But
it's surprising for a tie-in. They've gone the Arkham Asylum route and gone for detail as well as and quality and things like that. Although they have titted up a bit when it comes to like ammo and things like that, but graphically it is very pretty indeed. Especially the opening cutscene. Oh,
yeah.
I don't tend to skip it because it looks very nice.
Very nice, yeah.
Very nice.
Now, have they actually done?
Sorry.
Have they actually done any downloadable content for this game? So I know they did one for Revenge of the Fallen, but which was like £6 for character skins and a few online maps, which was hideously expensive.
I don't know. It's got a thingy there.
2 downloadable content packs according to Wikipedia.
Character and map pack.
Character and map pack 01 and
Character
map pack 2.
Yeah.
Which add characters Demolisher, Jazz and Shockwave, as well as Onslaught and Scattershot. 4 new multiplayer maps, and 2 maps are exclusive to the game's escalation mode, while the other 2 are used in all other game modes. The second pack adds the characters Dead End and Zeta Prime, and 5 new maps. Zeta Prime being the Prime who was in charge before Optimus.
And I bet they're going to charge through their teeth for them as well.
It's probably something like £6 a pack.
Ugh.
Seems to be the going price, which is it's a lot, really.
Hideous price.
Especially
That fella.
Yeah, who's that?
that is Megatron by the look of it. Yep, it's Megatron.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Looking much more recognisable than his movie equivalent.
Yes, who looks an awful lot like the Fallen, who also looks a lot like
Starscream.
who also looks a bit like
All the other.
Soundwave, who also looks a bit like everyone else who's
Yeah.
on the Decepticons.
They didn't really think that through. Did
No, they didn't, and they went pretty. I mean, that's what I didn't get about the first film is that they were slightly different colours.
Yeah.
You could tell, but the second one they saw and can't really be
Yeah,
arsed.
can't be bothered.
Stick Soundwave dry humping a satellite for the whole film. Sorted. We got 2.5 hours worth of.
Yeah. Of set
material.
pieces and no plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stick Ravage in there at the beginning. It's fine.
So,
Quality
did you
marvels.
find the game user friendly?
Once you get round, yeah, sort of. I don't know. It's one of those because I've played Transformers games before. I sort of knew what to expect a little bit.
Right.
But if you haven't ever played one at all, then it might take a little bit of getting used to. Yeah, what? I
You're
thought
just
you were doing-
gesturing.
I thought you were
rather
doing phones for you then. And
phones for you.
I can't do that. It's too deep.
you can't do that. Hang on. No, phones for
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Phones for you. Yeah. So
I wasn't doing phones for you. I wasn't trying to make a point.
You
or
just-
anything.
No, it
Moving
did
your
just
hand.
look
I
like
was,
you
just
were
moving, I was pretending I was just like
a TIE
a
fighter or
raging
something.
it
bull.
could be a typo.
And before we round all this up, the soundtrack.
It's very good. They've
Shut up.
they've obviously listened to Steve Jablonsky's movie ones and riffed it. Is that the right word? Riffed.
They could have lifted it. They could have riffed
Yeah, they
upon
could
it.
have riffed it. Who knows? They've sort of taken his style, which is essentially Hans Zimmer's, but never mind, and done that sort of big orchestral,
Yeah.
bombastic.
So that's
score.
one thing I do like about the films is the scores.
They
They're
I
very
wasn't sure what to expect because I'd never heard Steve Jablonsky's stuff before that. And I was like, oh, well, that's pleasantly surprising. It's very Hans Zimmer. But they've gone. I don't know who does the music for this one. I couldn't tell you. I've probably never heard of him. But he's done a very good job. Whoever he is, it's very. If they release the soundtrack, I'd quite like to get it.
The soundtrack for the console versions was composed by Jonathan Flood and Steve Jablonsky.
Oh well, there you go.
He's actually on the soundtrack.
Yeah, the ending theme is
It's Till All I Want
it's
by
by
Stan Bush.
Oh,
Nice.
that's ace. Oh, I've got. Have they released it? Does it say they've released it?
Yeah, it's on his 2007 album In This Life. I don't know if they've released the actual soundtrack for the game.
Oh man.
But I know Stan Bush has done a lot of Transformers stuff. He keeps reworking songs. I mean, he sounds like a really nice chap, but he keeps... I mean, there's one song he did. He actually changed the lyrics about 3 times and used the same song. He's used the touch about 4... He's done about 4 or 5 different remixes of it, including one that sounded a bit Linkin Park-esque to try and get it into the new films.
Oh dear.
But yeah, that didn't
It's
really
just
work.
he's determined, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just 'cause
Oh,
he-
give him that. Give him that.
Yeah, I mean, he was involved in one film, and then he decides, I must be involved in everything to do with Transformers.
Perhaps he just really likes Transformers.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, here's
I'm
a
going to have to try and find this soundtrack, because
Yeah.
Steve Jablonski's... That'll be why it sounds like Steve
yeah,
Jablonski.
because it is him.
He obviously did a few themes on there.
A little piece of trivia for you as well, that the voice of Starscream in the game was voiced by Sam Riegel, best known for the role of Donatello in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah, interesting.
Yeah. And someone who apparently did... what's it?
Oh, Nathan
Lara
Drake.
Croft.
Nolan North is in it as well.
Is he?
Yep.
Oh, bloody hell, yeah. He did Brawl. And Carrie... Well, someone who did
Walgrave.
Lara Croft in the past. I don't know which Lara Croft she did. Probably one of her many different incarnations.
I don't know.
It isn't the new one, because that's Kaylee Hughes. Is it Kaylee Hughes? The new Lara Croft.
Keely Hawes.
Keely, that's...
Yeah.
I was close.
There you were.
Not far.
I've got the initials right.
For you, near enough.
Yeah.
So, okay. Overall thoughts about the game then? worth buying. I mean, the reviews online tend to be generally positive.
Yeah, I'd give it... If I had to score it out of 10, I'd give it an 8. Which most people tend to have. It's good. It's
good, but it's not right.
I wouldn't quite say... Well, no, it is a novel idea, because no one's tried to do this before. So it could have either sunk or swim.
Yeah.
And...
It's nice to see them go back.
Yeah, they've actually put the effort into it, and Bumblebee looks like Bumblebee.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like Michael Bay's Abomination. And he talks, presumably, as well.
Stumble.
And
I've never seen him before.
no, I haven't
Never
seen him.
surrender.
There you
That's
go.
another one of his songs.
This probably used 6 times.
Yeah.
But the only main problem with it is the lack of ammunition. Which,
Right.
when there's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of baddies, it does get quite frustrating. But hey ho, it's a small price to pay for a very detailed and enjoyable game.
Okay. Right, that just about wraps things up. So, if you have been listening, thank you, and we will see you next time. Goodbye for now.
Oh.
You done?
You can stop recording, end the podcast, just me choking to death.
Maybe.